Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to speak at the opening of the first Arab seminar on disarmament and non-proliferation. Let me begin by expressing my deep appreciation to the State of Qatar and its National Commission for the Prohibition of Weapons for organizing this event. Outside of formal and at times rigid multilateral platforms, we need forums like this one, where experts and policymakers can discuss and debate the issues informally and openly. Only then can we conjure the solutions necessary to expand and strengthen common ground. If the recent review conference of parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons has taught us any lessons, it is a need for dialogue that looks beyond narrow geopolitical interests. At the commencement of the NPT review conference last month, the United Nations Secretary-General and I underlined several key areas for states parties to work on. I wish to highlight three of them. The first was the urgent need to reinforce and reaffirm the long-standing norm against the use of nuclear weapons. Recent events have proven that we cannot take this norm for granted. Nor can the rhetorical commitment to the non-use of nuclear weapons replace the troubling reality that nuclear weapons remain prominently placed in military doctrines and arsenals around the world. The second area for action we underlined is that while reducing the risk of nuclear war must be an urgent priority, it is not enough to overcome the dangers posed by nuclear weapons. The total elimination of nuclear weapons is the only way to completely eliminate nuclear risk. It is also a legally binding commitment that the 5 nuclear weapon states have undertaken. When we speak of the pillars of the NPT, we don't just mean that metaphorically. The weakness of the disarmament pillars has in fact destabilized the regime and, for many, shaken confidence in its efficacy as the instrument that can deliver our world from nuclear annihilation. The third action area is of particular concern to this seminar, and that is to address the tensions in the Middle East through dialogue and negotiations. Rivalries between states, armed conflict and proliferation risks are undoing decades of socio-economic developments in the region and producing displacement crisis. At the beginning of the NPT review conference, we were actually aware that achieving a consensus outcome would not be easy. In the build-up to the conference and during its sessions, states parties to the NPT, led by the president of the conference, worked hard to maximize the chances of success. All but one NPT party supported outcomes that would have taken us closer to our shared goal of a world free of nuclear weapons. We're deeply disappointed, but not defeated. The sincere and meaningful engagement by the parties at the conference proved that tangible progress can and must be pursued across the different NPT pillars. Therefore, at the closure of the conference, the UN Secretary-General appealed to all states to use every avenue of dialogue and diplomacy to reduce nuclear risks and eliminate the nuclear threat once and for all. As is evident from the many statements by many state parties during the review conference, and especially those from the Middle East, the lack of progress in implementing the 1995 resolution on the Middle East remained a major concern. Most state parties supported the conference on the establishment of a Middle East zone free of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction, established by the UN General Assembly. The annual conference, not only provides a process leading to the realization of the aspiration of a Middle East free of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction, but also a forum for states in the region to build trust and confidence and to reduce tensions. The positive outcomes of the 2 conferences held to date, as well as the work of the Intersessional Working Committee, demonstrate the political will of participating states, as well as their constructive engagement in efforts to forge ahead and achieve the long-sought objectives of ridding the region of all weapons of mass destruction, and ultimately bring peace and security to the region. I therefore encourage the experts and stakeholders participating in this seminar to explore all possible avenues for further progress. I wish you all fruitful deliberations, and I thank you very much for your attention.